My name is Latoya Turner, and I am an educator, I'm a filmmaker, I'm a mother, most importantly. I'm an HBCU advocate. In high school, I did this cadet teaching program where I was able to go to elementary school to give back to the students, to help out, to be a teacher assistant. And that moment, I knew that I had fallen in love with teaching. I noticed that our brown and black kids were not reading on grade level. Honestly, when I first started teaching, I started teaching 13 years ago. I taught in Detroit, I taught in Maryland, I taught here in Cincinnati. And by me teaching in different states, I saw a trend. And it wasn't just a specific state, but I just saw a trend worldwide. What was lacking that I saw with this age group, elementary age group at that, is we're not talking about college and career readiness. We can start educating kids about HBCUs at an early age, and not only HBCUs, college in general. You usually hear teachers or counselors talking about that in middle school. But if you start teaching them at a younger age, you're planting the seed, and they grow up to want to attend HBCU. And even if they don't attend an HBCU, at least they know that they have that option. I know how to get kids to read. And one is build a relationship. So the process of writing a book, I'm naturally a storyteller. And with my students in teaching, we read books every single day. I tell them stories every single day. And they also tell stories. So that process was new to me. I had to get an illustrator because I'm no illustrator, I'm a writer. But I had to write the story, I had to rewrite, and the idea of how to publish this book, that didn't come easy. I had to do a lot of research. When you pick up Brown Hands Black Schools HBCUs, it talks about two characters, which is Aria and Walter, and they're named after my niece and nephew. And Aria and Walter, they go on this adventure to a HBCU, which is Central State University, and they're exploring all the different things at a HBCU, the marching band, fraternity, sororities, different majors. You can major to become anything that you want, the family at a HBCU, and just the overall Black pride of attending an HBCU. With Brown Hands Black Schools, there is an emphasis on HBCUs and not just any college, but specifically HBCUs. And why? Well, I attended Central State University in Wilberforce, Ohio, and I didn't learn about HBCUs until I was almost in high school. That's pretty late. And after publishing this book, I've learned that it was so many more people like me. But the reason I wanted to highlight historically Black colleges and universities is because they hold such a special place in my heart, and also people who attended HBCUs. And even if you didn't attend an HBCU, so many people have family members who attended HBCUs who they have this close connection to. And even if you're a person of color, you should have a special place in your heart for HBCUs because of how they have started. When I was here at John P. Parker, we brought the book to life. And when I say we brought this book to life, the students had worn HBCU shirts. We had them pretend that they were in a marching band. We had other local authors to come do visits. We had fraternities and sororities to come to visit the students. So we really brought this book to life here at John P. Parker. I was like, wow, bringing this book to life, we're on to something. This is so much bigger. I love to give back to the community. So that's when I had this idea of I need to start a nonprofit. With Brown Hands hosting HBCU literacy experience events here in Cincinnati, it brought the community out. These events were free to the public. I do so many different things in the communities, and school visits is just one of them. So when I go to a school, the teacher or the school have already told the students that I was coming. So sometimes the school will do a little bit of research about who I am, what the books are. So when I get to the schools, of course, the teacher in me is there hyping the students up, telling them about myself first. I think that's so important for them to know the person behind the book. Oftentimes, we see a cover of a book, but you don't know who wrote this story, why they wrote this story, and why they chose to write it this way. So just tell them a little bit about myself, and then get right into the book. I start reading the book. I start talking about the topic of the book. But now, not only can I go in to read a book, I could go in and show them a film as well. So how cool is it to have a book to turn into an animation? And not only an animation, it has live action scenes, so that way kids can feel like it's believable. I was able to do all of these different things in the community, and that helped me to market Brown Hands Literacy. So when I was on social media, when I was showing up to schools, because one thing for sure, I had to show up to these places. I had to show up. This was not handed to me. This was not given to me. This is something that I was putting the work into. But I always say this, running any type of business, nonprofit, for-profit, by yourself is not a flex. You really, really need a team. I have an animated film.
Yeah.
Just saying that to myself it's crazy, because that's a huge, huge accomplishment. To know that I am the person behind this film, it brings me so much joy. But when I hear people say like, oh, you're a filmmaker, or when I say it to myself, it's really a dream come true, and it's super, super exciting for me. When people watch this film, you're going to feel so much joy and excitement, because this is not a film just for kids. This film is for everyone. Adults can watch this film. Educators, it's for everyone. Even though you see the animation, don't think it's just for your kid to watch. I want families to come together. I wanted conversations to start from this film, and conversations to start about literacy and HBCUs. In the film, we talk about the science of reading. And the science of reading is a hot topic right now, of how students learn how to read. We've been having this information, but it's just now coming forward for teachers, and teachers are just not starting to get the training of it. I want kids to know that even if you're having a difficult time reading, don't give up on yourself. Try your hardest. Try your best at anything that you do, because growth is growth. So if you're not reading on grade level right now, keep trying. Keep trying. That doesn't mean you have failed. Continue to strive for the best.